Relative Utensils.
Hi everybody and welcome to Inside UX UI. My name is Danny and this is the last video of our Axure series of a web shop in Axure. So as I said in the last video, I was moving last month and it was really a tough time and took me really a long time to get everything in place. And I have a new microphone. I could buy this from a friend and I think it works really well, but I still have to figure out how it really works. But I think you can hear me, so everything's okay. Okay, so I would say that we move on with the last portion of this Axure series where we want to make the tiles work, you know, the counter and the price updating and so on. And yeah, in the end, you will be able to bring this to a testing audience or to make A/B tests with different versions and so on. So let's do this and yeah, make the site work. Okay, so this is the site where we left off the last time. And just to make a little walkthrough here, we had at the really top, we had our first bar here with USPs and some menu items. Then we had our logo, the search bar, and price and article, or let's say the basket. And then we had primary navigation here with our flyout menu. And also, of course, our slider where we could also use our arrows here and with updating dots and ghost button. And down here we had our tiles, some product information and labels, and some more tiles. And here is something interesting because this is our sticky header. So if we scroll down, our sticky header here comes up, and we have again our flyout menu here, and which I think this coloring is more interesting, like the one we have on top, but we won't touch that anymore. So we come to the next portion. We have a section here with our values with another ghost button here, and our food blogger embedded YouTube video, more ghost buttons. And here we have a section where we introduce our service that we have, how it works. And we also have a map, Google Map integrated, and our footer here. So I already began to change some elements here because I wasn't really happy with them. So I changed the search bar, for example, and some few other things. Okay, so to make the counter work, we made sure that you gave a name to all your elements. This is the card button, plus button, minus button. This is the amount text field, and this is the text field background. So I'll grab these elements here and put it over, make sure that it's aligned properly, and then take it out again. And if we click here on this card button, we want the other elements to appear and the card button to disappear. So we say show hide, and we say these buttons here, the card button should let's say here the plus button should show up, minus button also, and the card button should be hidden. And then we have also the text fields. We want this to show up, and we also want the amount text fields to show up. All right, then we have to grab them all here and right click, and then we set this to hidden. So let's test this out, refresh the site, and let's see if this works. Okay, this worked. The card button here disappeared and the other elements appeared. Okay, so now I think a nice effect would also be if we enter the plus button or the minus button. A nice effect would be if they would grow a little bit, change the size, if they would become a little bit bigger and then become smaller again if we go out with our mouse. So let's do this. We add a case here and we go to more events and we say on mouse enter, and we change the size of our buttons here. We have the plus button and the minus button, and we want to change this to maybe 50 would be nice, and we change the anchor to center, animate, maybe linear, 100 milliseconds is fine. We don't want this to make too long. Center, linear, 100 milliseconds. Then we have also to do the same on mouse out. So mouse enter, we have it grows, and then on mouse out we set the size of our buttons again. Plus button, we go back to 45, center, linear, minus button, 45, center, linear, 100. Okay, let's see if this works. Here are our buttons again. Okay, but it's it's on the same moment. Okay. Yeah, that's, of course, this is yeah, that was stupid. I thought we could make all at the same time, which is, yeah, doesn't make sense at all. So remove this and then go. Maybe we could just copy it over so we don't lose too much. So we paste here, and of course not the plus button, the minus button. No, that's not right. Okay. Center, linear, 100. Then not the plus button, the minus button, 45, center, linear, 100. Okay, now minus button, 50, 45, and here plus button, 50, 45. Let's refresh that again. Okay. All right, now it seems to work now. Good. All right, let's hide this. Now we want to work now on the counter, and if we click on it, then here the counter should count up. So we highlight here our plus button, go on click, and for this we need a new variable here. So we say we set variable value, and we have to add a new one here, and we say plus and say var amount. Click OK. And now if we click here on the plus button, we want to set the var amount variable to value, and we say here brackets left and right brackets, and say var amount plus 1. So every time we click on the plus button, it will count 1 up. But then we need to take this data and set the text of our text field, the amount text field, to the value of this variable of var amount. And let's see if this works. Refresh the site. And click a couple of times here, and we see it works, it counts up. And we do the same, we copy this and we do the same for our minus button. We click on click, paste it in, command V, and instead of var amount plus 1, we say minus 1. This should be okay. Refresh again. And it counts down. But the problem is, as you can see here, it goes beneath 0. And we don't want that, because you can't have -7 bananas in your cart. To do this, we go to the minus button here, and we need a condition. And we say if the text on widget, and of course the amount text field, equals or is less than 0, then do this. So no, that's probably not less, but it's greater than. Click OK, and we need a new case here because no, like else if true, then we want to disappear all our elements. So the plus button to hide, the minus button we want to hide, but we want to show the cart button again. And we also want to hide our amount text field and our text field background. So let's see if this works. Plus, 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 minus, 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 minus. Okay, so we don't want any value here below 0. And as soon as we reach here -1, it goes back to our cart icon. So the next thing we need to do, we should paste this up here, and then yeah, that works. And now it's all nice aligned here in our product tile. Now what we could do is that we update our price here, and also in the sticky header here. Actually, I would like to show this in our sticky header here, because we have also our products, how much products we have in our basket. For this, we will introduce another variable here, because we want a global variable that allows us to get the data here stored in our text field, and that we can also display here and do some maths here with the price, because we need that. Okay, so we click on the plus button here again, and this time we also, or what we first need, we go to our sticky header here, double click on this, and we make sure that we have a price here. So we have the global price, and we have global amount, text field, and here also text field. You put this a little bit more to the side. Okay. Now, so if we click on it, let's double click this. So we want also to set the value of, so when we set the value of our amounts, we also want to set, or say we add a variable here, and we say our global, maybe let's do the price. Go price, say okay. And we say that we set the var global price here to our var amounts, but not +1, but we multiply this by 0.75, which is the price for our banana here. And we probably, no, let's stick for this for now. And of course we also need to set our text here from the global price to the value of variable var global price. So click OK and save this. Then refresh our site here. Scroll down. Oops. Make it appear again. So. Okay, and you see it updates our price here. But maybe we want to add our USD here. Let's see. maybe you could add like so. Okay, maybe it should be on the other side actually. And also, let's take this and move it a bit to the side here. And we say, we take this USD here of global price and we move it to the other side. Like so. So let's see if this works now. Okay, USD stays always here. So you have your price and your currency. Okay, so what we also need now is here the update of our pieces here, or the amount of our products. And for this we do actually quite the same thing again. So we click again here on our plus button here. Go to our case here, case 1, and then of course we need a new variable. And where is it? Here. Like so. And a new one, and we say our global amount. And we grab this here and we put it, maybe delete this again and click here. So we have everything here up and above here. So we want actually the variable global amount to set the value of var amount, and then we want to set the text here. So it protects our text field, and it's our global amount text field. And we say we want to have the value for our global amount. Click OK. Save this again. Let's see if it works. Maybe we could also have used also go without any new variable. Okay, so maybe we could just go actually without setting up a new variable here, and instead say anyway, just leave it like that. We could save a variable here. You just go directly from our variable amounts directly to our text field, and it should be fine. So Axure says you can set up just up to 20 variables here in your project. So we're anyway far away from that. So I'll leave it like it is. But now what we also need to do, we need actually also the same here on the minus button, because until now we just count up, but the minus button is only working here down here at our amount text field. To do this, we just make it quite easy here. We could just say we copy this over and just make sure that we don't need this, and this we will change. Let's paste it in, double click, and here we'll say minus, and here we should say here the opposite. So let's see if this works. Refresh the site. Counts up. Oh, okay. All right. Maybe we could even, or let's say we could use a function in Axure which allows us to limit the amount here, or just limit to 2 digits here. And I think maybe we could go with this solution. Let's try this out. For this, we say, okay, we store this value here, which comes out for amount in this variable here, global price, and maybe we could then take this value here and set, we set the global amount. We don't set it to our global amount, but we could say to the value of let's say our global amount, and we say to fix it, and then limit this to 2 places here, and we click OK, and let's see what we have. Refresh the site. Down here, plus, 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 minus. Oh, okay. It doesn't work. So I think the problem here is that we set the global text, or the price text field here, equal to a variable, and this is also not right here. So we need to change that, because we want to have here the value, and we say the global price, and instead we want to set this here to, let's open here the editor so you can see a little bit better. I think we want to fixed function here on right here at the end. When we do the calculation, it won't be really appropriate. It won't be really numbers that are actually accurate, but at least it will be somehow something that you can show around. So so let's see what we can do here. So first we want to put this into brackets to fix it. And then we need to enter the number of the decimal places we want to have. Let's say 2. And at the end we have USD. Okay, this is okay. And now let's see what we have. Refresh. Scroll down and count up. Plus button is fine. Okay, now we see that we actually have here, we only have 2 places here, decimal places, which is what we wanted. So, and if we count back here, well, you can already see it doesn't really, yeah, it's not really corresponding to our actual price here. But at least if we reach here 0, it is back to 0, and I think that's also what we wanted to achieve. So okay, then of course we also should update here the price here on top. And let's see, we have on a global price, let's say top price here, and move this a little bit to the side. And we say that we need to set another text here. And we probably made a mistake here. We should add text field. And then we could set the text of our top price text field to the value of variable global price. Let's click OK. Fresh, let's see if this works. Okay, it works. We have 225 and here also 225. Now we also need to do this for the decreasings here. And we will also set the price or set text for text field, top price text field. And we want to do the same here. Click OK. Save this, refresh. Okay, 25, so 25, 0, and it's back to 0. Okay. All right, so that seems also to work. And the last thing we need to do now is to copy our cards icon and all the elements that we have here all to our other tiles. So let's go back to Axure and highlight all the elements here and deselect our tile background, and then click Alt and Shift and drag this over. And this is also again for the other 2 tiles here. And now you could holding down Shift and select all the elements again, and then copy the whole row here downwards to our tiles here on bestsellers. Okay, so let's check this again. All right, here it is. We have all our elements here on the tiles, and we are counting up here. We have the working updating card here, the plus button and the minus button. And yes, I think I would consider this actually now in this state as done or finished, and I think it's up to you now to go out with this or do your own landing page with the things you hopefully learned here, and make your own sites or take this as a base and then do some A/B testings or get feedback from possible users, and yeah, make this site to a live project. So we covered actually a lot in this tutorial series. We started off with a little research. Well, I did this on my own, but I did want to see what's a state of art, for example, and then we came back to with pencil and paper to make a first step in prototyping. And after that we made a more concrete wireframe in Axure with basic functionalities where we already could test our previous thoughts we made in our sketches. Then we went from this basic wireframe to a more defined visual design and added some logic. And lastly, we added even more functionalities and polished up here and there. So as I said before, that would bring us to the next step where we could go into user testings. However, I will leave this series now and go on with other topics. I already have interesting stuff up to come, and I really hope that you could take something out of it, of this series here. And I will certainly continue with Axure tutorials, maybe also other tools, but yeah, stay tuned for that and see you next time. Bye.